All right, guys. So for this one, we're gonna be interpreting functions in terms of a context. So here, the context is the following. It says that functions A and B give the population of city A and city B respectively T years since 1990, right? So it says in this each function, the population is measured in millions. And then this says that here are the graphs of the two functions, right? So in this case, we could see that since this is city A, right, this is function, that's function A, and this one is function B, right? So in this case, the first question that they're asking us is, which function is greater? Is it a of 2, right? Or is it b of 2, right? So for the first one, a of 2, well, we're looking at the input is 2, right? So we're looking at when the value of 2 here for function A, right? So that's the red is this line right here, right? The red line right here. So if I go up, that the point is right there. So it's approximately, I would say like 1.2 or something like that, right? 1.2 million. And then for b of 2, right? It's still at this value, but I'm going to the blue line. So it's right here, right? So this is b of 2. And this one was a of 2, right? So this is asking which one is greater. Well, the bottom one we said it was around 1.2 million, right? So it's around 1.2 million. The top one is around 2.1, right? Like 2.1 million. So in this case, we could see that the point for the blue b of 2 is higher than it is for this a of 2 there, right? So therefore, we could say that b of 2 is greater. We could say because the point is higher than a of 2, right? Or we could also explain by saying that b of 2, right, is equal to 2.1 million versus a of 2 only being approximately 1.2 million. So in this case, b of 2 will be greater, right? The next one is asking you, are there one or more values of a t at which, let me just erase this actually real fast. It's asking, are there one or more values of t, right? So we're looking at t in which the equation a of t is equal to b of t is true. If so, which one or which ones, right? So we got to think about if there's any time within this graph where both of these points are the same, right? So in this case, if we're looking at the answer choices, they're saying that t is equal to 4. Well, at t is equal to 4, these two are not the same, right? They're not at the same point, so that one wouldn't be true. You could see that the bottom one, the city A is around, I would say like 1.9 million. And then for function B, the blue graph right here, it's around, I would say like 2.5 million, right? So that's not the same. These have to be equal. Now, T of 5, same thing, right? Here, very close. But you could see that in this case, the red line is still lower than the blue line. So therefore, these are not equal. At T of 6, this is actually the same exact point, right? We could see that there's this point here of intersection, which means that at that point, right, it's similar to when we're talking about linear equations, the systems. It is at that point of intersection here. They're both at the same place. They're both around 3 million people, right? So in this case, we could say that t is equal to 6 would be a value of t where a of t is equal to b of t at around 3 million. Now t is equal to 7. We could see that actually in this case, right, very close in population, but not not intersecting. So in this case, we could see that one is higher than the other. So that's not it. At t is equal to 8, now we could kind of see more separation. So that's not it. In this case, city A will actually be higher of a population. And then lastly, t of 9, right? City B is right here. City A is up here. So we could see that that is not a value of time where both of the cities have the same population. So it's only at this, like we said here, at this point of intersection, right? Right here, where they're actually both equal. Lastly, it's saying to identify at least two values of t where b sub t is greater than a sub t, right? So to help us kind of with this, I'm going to erase this again, right? Just to kind of have a clear blank slate here. And now it's saying what values of t are b sub t greater than a sub t, right? So b sub t is this blue line, right? So where is that where's that line, the blue line, higher than the red line, right? So we could actually see that there's a few places. We could either see here, 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 and obviously not here because we just said in the last one, right? At t is equal to 6, that's actually where they're equal. We're looking for values of t where b sub t is greater, right? So that's the blue line. So in this case, they say to just choose 2 points. So I could say at t is equal to 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. They're only asking me to choose 2. So I'm going to say at t is equal to 1 second and at t is equal to 3 seconds, right? We could see that at these 2 points. Let me erase this just so that we could see again. So, oops. So in this case, right, at t is equal to 1, we could see that b sub, right, the city B is greater than at this red point down here, right? That one's lower. So that makes sense. And at t is equal to 3, you can see that the value for city B is higher than where the population would be for city A, right, which would be down here. So in this case, right, we could say that two values of t where b sub t is greater than a sub t would be at t is equal to 1 second and t is equal to 3 seconds. Again, expect this to be in your final exam and also in the Unit 5 functions exam as well.